Hello and welcome to Thaiger Bites. It's a bright new day on Friday and it's the end of the week, Tim.
Yay, weekend coming. It's a public holiday today.
It is a public holiday today. We're not supposed to be here, but we're here for you to respond to your comments, because Thaiger Bites is where you get a chance to ask us your questions, give us your feedback on all of our shows on Thaiger Talk Forum on the website, on our YouTube shows, and as well Facebook and Instagram.
And in some of your cases, just to bitch and moan.
Right. Before we start, we'd like to give a quick shout out to Coffee Culture, our sponsor for our coffee today. If you'd like your roast of Thai coffee from anywhere in Thailand or abroad, you can visit coffeeculture.asia and find the blend for you. This one is Kun Chang Kian, which is a medium roast. Amazing coffee.
Yum.
Amazing coffee. We tried that yesterday. It was pretty good.
Azuki277, very succinct, says, I don't like Farang, I hate your freedom.
Well,
so thanks, Zuki. We hear you.
Well, Zuki, to think you think we have freedom is...
What do you think about the word Farang? Because you're Farang,
Yes.
I suppose. Are you?
Yes. So
Well, you're a foreigner.
Well, the word Farang
I don't like Farang.
The word Farang basically means foreigner. I know it does, a lot of people don't like it, and we do actually get a lot of comments saying, oh, you should not say the word Farang, But I guess, is it a derogatory word?
I think it is. Some Thais don't use it as such, but I've heard some Thais use it in a derogatory way, and I get just a little bit offended.
Really? Do you think about? I think like a lot of people don't even understand that it's derogatory or offensive to a lot of people. I think they're just used to it.
Okay. Well, Zuki doesn't like Farang anyway, so
Well,
thanks,
Zuki.
Zuki.
Come on, Zuki. Anyways, I've got a comment here from Tommy Tightpants. And Tommy Tightpants says, Jay has as much charisma as a dustbin. Well, Tommy, I think it's because of your tight pants. I think if you just loosen up your pants a little bit, you might feel better and might feel that my charisma is a little bit better than a dustbin. Who knows? Just give it a go. Just loosen up those pants a little bit and perhaps change your name as well.
Tommy, is it?
Yes.
Tommy, actually, I can confirm that you're absolutely correct. Has got as much charisma as a dustbin.
Hashtag dustbins matter.
Quite a tall dustbin, but nevertheless a dustbin. Junior jet setter, spelt with one T.
Yes.
Not quite right. Majority of patients at good dental clinics in Thailand were foreigners. How dentists survived this closure? By the time Thailand will open, most airlines will stop flying there and many will get bankrupt. My virtual travels to Thailand over Skype, Viber are sufficient contacts with all my friends, blah, blah, blah. So talking about dentists in Thailand, there's actually 70 million Thais that also go to dentists. So it's not just foreigners going to the good dentists in Thailand. All the Thai people had to go before when there were tourists here and have been continuing to go during the pandemic. So the foreigners have not kept the Thai dental clinics alive.
All right, I have a comment here from Pattaya. A lot of comments actually yesterday regarding gamers and how esports is now
not going to go through all this again.
Officially a sport. So just a couple. I've got Pattaya saying, Jay, I think you missed the point. Being the best at what you do doesn't make you an athlete. It makes them best in that field. I think the issue that most people have is with the terminology. Call them e-gamers, but not athletes. Thank you for the comment, Pattaya. I respect your opinion.
No, you don't.
Not really.
You think he's wrong.
I think, in my opinion, they are athletes. But we can agree to disagree. That's your opinion. You think they should be called e-gamers. I think they're athletes. I've got another comment here from Philip, who goes all out and says, Jay, you're raking bull as well about esports. Doctors and teachers are telling kids it's so unhealthy playing games on the internet. Fact.
Raking bull.
Yes. So Jay, stop saying it's okay when it's not okay, because you said how much they can win, as in prize pool. And kids would now sit for hours in front of a phone or tablet or computer for hours. It's so bad for health. Well, Philip, I don't know if you're a parent, but if you are a parent, it's your responsibility to take care of your children and children who are under 18. So if you don't want them to sit in front of a tablet, don't give them a tablet. Or perhaps control how long they spend on the tablet. You have a choice as a parent. Every parent can help their child from not getting addicted to games.
Introduce them to the joys of going outdoors and
Exactly.
wakeboarding.
Spend more time with them. Make sure that they don't get addicted to games. You know, you have a choice in that. As for professional gaming, it's not for everyone. So is succeeding in anything in life.
Okay, Fran Ram, talking about the medical care in Thailand, said, I had my hip replacement in Pattaya and a lumbar fusion. No complaints about the service, quality or price. Two of the most relaxing surgical recoveries of all time. So we do get, I think, generally favourable comments about Thailand's medical system. Certainly my interfaces with the system, both public and private, have been very good in the past. So Fran Ram seems to agree.
Right. Keep going.
Oh, another one from TD. The visa extension was 4 days before the expiration. Very thoughtful. So again, and it seems to happen every couple of months when they extend the what they call the COVID extension, the sort of the amnesty. It's always announced very, very close to the date. So yes, TD not very happy with the Immigration Department's short notice, but at least you got an extension to stay, and you're invited to give them 1,900 baht for the pleasure.
Wow. Okay. I've got a comment here from Hershinger who returns, and she says, what is Golf going to be doing at the Thaiger? So those of you who are unaware, we have a new member to the team, Golf. Golf will be, his expertise lie in social media. So that is what he will be focusing on, Thai social media in general.
He's just freelance at the moment.
Yes.
So we don't know what's going to happen.
We don't know.
It's up to Golf.
Right.
ZFLXN, I have no idea what that stands for, says, forget about the reopening if we cannot go to bars to have drinks. Thailand, your temples are not interesting enough for people to spend thousands of dollars to endure 15 to 25-hour flights. If you want tourists back, we will need the fun back. No one wants to look at the sunset without a bottle of beer next to them under their umbrella. So SFLXN has a very fixed idea of what a holiday in Thailand is, and obviously currently thinks that the reasonable offering at the moment is not for him or her.
Oh, and by the way, you can sit on a beach with a bottle of beer. No one's stopping you from doing that. Visit the Phuket Sandbox.
Yes, and then after 14 days, you can go to anywhere you want in Thailand at the moment. All right, more from me?
One more from you.
Oh, okay, I've got plenty more. Eltel Spain. There may be some Spanish pronunciation of that I'm missing. Imagine holidaying in Pattaya over Christmas and New Year with all the bars closed, sober and bored. No thanks, I'll stay at home in the UK. Yep, cold and drunk. So another person who's probably not the ideal sandbox candidate, or may not even be interested in coming back from November the 1st when allegedly parts of Thailand may be reopening.
Right. I have my last comment about esports. Hiroshi says, no one is hating on esports, Jay, but wouldn't you agree that real sports are a bit diminished once every activity that involves breathing becomes a sport? Hiroshi, you might be right.
You've taken this really to heart, haven't you?
No, I'm just saying that personally, I don't feel why everyone gets so touchy about this subject.
You've said that so many times.
Sport can be anything. Just love, live and let people love whatever they do.
Paul Hancock says, I despise Thailand's discrimination and inequality towards foreigners who contribute so much to the country and economy. There's a little bit of a myth here. I mean, Thailand, if no tourists ever came back to Thailand ever again, Thailand would function. It would be a very different country. It would lose some 15% of its direct GDP. But Thailand would survive. It has a big manufacturing capacity, and it has a lot of service industries. So, we get what you're saying, and obviously the foreign income that comes here with tourism is valuable, but Thailand would survive without foreigners if it had to.
Right, I've got a comment here from Facebook. on an article written about quarantine shortening proposed for certain situations. Now we have a comment here from Jules who says, when things are complicated, the sensible thing to do is to simplify. But with this administration, Jules, we agree with you, and so do a lot of people. It seems like, clarification and simplification is something missed during explaining what is actually happening around Thailand.
The Public Health Minister has come for a little bit of bad coverage this morning across our various channels. My life in Thailand is going directly for the throat. He said it was that scumbag health minister who decided we should pay double at hospitals if we are retirees, alluding to the 4-tier pricing system that was introduced in 2019, where depending on if you're a local, if you're from ASEAN, if you're on a local visa, or if you are a tourist, you would pay different prices at public hospitals in Thailand. He's not happy.
Right. I've got a comment here, another one from Facebook for an article regarding Prime Minister Prayut, who just announced a 5-point plan. This was for the reopening and how the economy is going to come back to Thailand. Jules comments, he announces plans but never explains how we will achieve these plans. We were actually talking about it this week, that this 5-point plan seems like a very basic plan. There's no detail or specific information on how this will actually be achieved.
It was basically saying, we want Thai people to be happier in the future. Yeah, but how? There was very high on rhetoric and very low on detail.
Right.
Anthony Sydney Retro Bike Restorations, I think we've just given him a free plug, says, every day I listen to the latest on Thailand opening, my head ends up in my hands. If it opens before Christmas, there will be a stampede for tickets and you're going to pay jacked up prices. So do you think, Jay, that there's going to be a stampede for tickets? Are people going to race back to Thailand after November the 1st? And are they going to be jacking up the prices?
Firstly, I think it will be a slow stampede, a very slow stampede. Eventually, I think after November, if it continues November, December, I'm expecting possibly January to be a lot more busier and a lot more people coming in. I think people will evaluate the situation. In terms of jacked up prices, no. I feel like the right thing to do, and I think the government does understand, is that this is the time.
Right thing to do.
No, but I'm being optimistic, but I feel like the government thinks it's the right time to get people in. It's not the time to jack prices up. And we did hear some stories, regarding taxis and stuff when the Phuket Sandbox eventually started. But the government came in and fixed that immediately. And I hope that they've learned from these experiences and will hopefully do the right thing and not let people take advantage of the situation.
Just a note on the taxis. I noted yesterday that 3,000 taxis in Bangkok are going to be fitted with a partition so that it'll help protect the drivers and the passengers from possibly catching COVID. Okay. So there's another expense as Thailand slowly reopens. On a related topic, this is my last one from Robert Klein, who says the first Southeast Asian country that puts an end to masking, social distancing, mandated vaccines, along with proof of vaccine passports will earn world respect. Offering tourists an alternative to these annoyances afflicting the rest of the world would pay high dividends. Now, I'm thinking that we're going to be wearing masks for a long time. And if not mandated, I think the idea of masks and social distancing are now sort of ingrained in the way that we run our lives. Mm-hmm. And Asian people in particular, who used to wear masks before COVID-19, just for their general health protection, I think will just continue to wear masks, whether the government says you have to wear them or not. Foreigners probably less so, but people from Asian cultures I think will continue wearing masks. And I think they'll probably keep a little bit further away than they might have in the past. I think this is now ingrained in our culture in the short term. As far as mandated vaccines, for the short to medium term, I think that's going to be very high on the list. You're probably not going to be able to get on a plane without a vaccine, and there's probably lots of hotels and services that aren't going to let you in unless you've been vaccinated. I think that's just something that we're going to have to work out, how we're going to cope with this sort of two-tier world with the vaccinated and the unvaccinated. And that's not saying that we support or don't support vaccination. It's just the reality.
Right. I've got my last comment here from Brent Coney.
Brent Cowie. He's been making comments for years at the Thaiger.
Brent Cowie.
I don't know him, but I've seen the name before.
And he wrote a comment on a story regarding Khon Kaen, a restaurant ban regarding alcohol. And his question is, do you know if the majority of the cabinet and local authorities in Thailand are predominantly Muslim? That might explain the persecution of alcohol. Brent, no, they are not majority Muslim.
No, unless you're down in the south of Thailand, I think you're going to be able to count the number of people who would describe themselves as Muslim,
yes,
and as municipal officials. You'd be able to count them on one hand.
Yes, and I mean, alcohol is very openly available in Thailand. Under the current restrictions, not so much. You can't have it in restaurants, but you still freely purchase it from your closest convenience store. And Thailand's
Even
not a
in
Muslim
the south,
country.
Yeah, down the south of Thailand, whether it's mandated by their religion or not, there's still quite a lot of alcohol sold. Somebody's consuming it. I don't know.
Yeah. Right. That's all we have for today, Tim.
And this week.
Right. Tim, I'd like to thank you for joining us.
It's my pleasure.
Jason behind the buttons and Golf behind the scenes. We'd like to thank you. If you do have any comments or feedback on today's episodes or any of our shows, please leave them in the comment section below. We hope you have a nice Friday and a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.